When was the last time you ate a hamburger? For most of us, it's been in the past week or so. The meat industry has taken over the world with its fast, cheap, and ultimately unhealthy food, making it easy for us to believe that this type of lifestyle is okay. A typical burger costs us anywhere from $1 to $2. But what is it costing the environment? Jonathan Foer explains that even when health costs and the question of animal welfare are put to the side, a 50-cent hamburger actually costs $200. Therefore, the dollar burger at McDonald's is really $400. Did you know that the farm animal population is 65 billion? To put that into perspective, remember that the human population is only 7 billion. And in order to raise farm animals, they must be given some kind of land to occupy. Can you imagine how much they must require? And how about the waste? With the population over 9 times the size of humans, their waste should be a major concern to us. For example, turkeys and chickens produce half a pound of waste per day per an animal. And 1 chicken waste equals 1 human waste. Pigs produce 12 pounds of waste per day per an animal, and their waste equals 24 human wastes. Cattle produce 92 pounds of waste per day per an animal, and their 1 cow waste equals 184 human wastes. Going vegetarian for one day doesn't seem like a major step towards a healthier and more environmentally friendly world, but actually the global impact will drastically lower our carbon footprint. So how well do we know our meat industry or our farmland population? The International Erosion Control Association states that there are approximately 1.53 billion cows in the world today. And according to the New Yorker, in 2009, Americans consumed 35 million cows. That's 64 pounds per year that each American eats. And as stated by Annie Hartnett, from birth to death, the cows are pumped with hormones, antibiotics, and unhealthy feed. This feed often contains the meat from pigs, chickens, and roadkill, euthanized cats and dogs, fecal waste from cows, pigs, and chickens. There are 1.2 billion pigs in the world today, and Americans consume 115 million pigs each year. At birth, those pigs have their tails chopped off and testicles removed, both without anesthetic. At death, they are incapacitated, which causes their muscles to contract so violently that often their back breaks. In 2009, there were 18.9 billion chickens in the world. Americans eat 9 billion chickens each year. And from birth to death, these chickens typically live in a windowless shed packed with more than 30,000 birds, along with generations of waste. The fumes from ammonia cause their breasts to blister, sores to develop on their legs, and respiratory disease. Boris Worm, a marine biologist, conveys that the amount of fish consumed in 2009 was 107 million tons. And if we continue our consumption trends, it's estimated that by 2048, the global stocks of the most commonly consumed fish will vanish. These fish are caught through processes such as dredging, which involves the scraping along the ocean floor, which is destroying rare and important ecosystems. And typically what's caught from dredging, 90% of what's caught, including sharks, sea turtles, endangered sea life, and other species, are left to die as waste. And we all know that the animal cruelty, that's the foundation of our meat industry. But until recently, the environmental impact had been overlooked. So what's our lifestyle costing our environment? Nathan Fiala writes about how beef production is responsible for about 40% of the 36 billion tons of greenhouse gases pumped into our atmosphere each year. And that's about almost twice as much as transportation, which is only 28%. And how about that dollar burger? Fiala reports that the production of 1 hamburger releases the size of 2 decks of cards of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. That's the same amount that's released when a 3,000-pound car is driven 10 miles. Lily Ogden expresses how producing meat requires 40% of our fresh water used each year by the United States. Our domestic purposes, such as flushing the toilet, washing dishes, washing our clothes, taking a shower, only requires 13% of that fresh water used. If you ate 2 double quarter pounders, the amount of water used to produce those burgers is 2,464 gallons of fresh water. This is the same amount as taking the 7-minute shower each day for 6 months. And how about the land that farm animals require? Lori Tuffrey states that just under a third of the Earth's entire land surface is used for raising farm animals for consumption. The Rainforest Action Network says that for each hamburger made, 55 square feet of rainforest are destroyed. That's 592 feet. How are you feeling about that burger now? The waste from rearing farm animals is released into the environment, where it quickly destroys important ecosystems. And our modern fishing habits have eliminated 50% of the ocean's diversity in the past 50 years. Dredging plays a big part of our diversity loss because it destroys the vital topsoil that provides all the nutrients for all ocean life. And even though the environmental effects of the meat industry are alarming and overwhelming, the steps we can take to change our lifestyle don't have to be drastic to cause an impact. Carol Missildine says that going vegetarian for 1 day out of the whole week has a greater environmental impact than switching from a Sudan to a Prius. Meatless Monday is a practice that is trying to be implemented in schools around the U.S. The United States Department of Agriculture recently released a statement endorsing Meatless Mondays, suggesting that its own employees go vegetarian 1 day a week to reduce their own carbon footprint. Unsurprisingly, the meat industry took issue with this statement. Politicians such as Senator Chuck Grassley piled out with statements like, "I will eat more meat on Mondays," to compensate for the stupid USDA recommendation about a Meatless Monday. Now, the USDA is claiming that the department does not endorse Meatless Monday, and that statement was posted without proper clearance. It has since been removed. How can we trust an agency that's in bed with the meat industry to make sound decisions about our health? It's obvious that we can't. It's time to take our own health into our own hands. Time to educate ourselves about the health of a plant-based diet and the perils of the meat industry. There's no time like the present to start making decisions that truly benefit our health as well as animals and the planet. So if everyone in America ate no meat for 1 day a week, it would save as much carbon as taking 19.2 million cars off the road for a year. And if this Monday feels a little too drastic of a lifestyle change, that's okay. Just try to reduce your meat consumption. Reduce it by 20, 10, or even 2%. Any reduction is a step in the right direction. But it is time for a change. We can all make a difference, big or small, as long as we don't continue being ignorant to the impact we have on the world we live in. In a recent Washington Post column, Princeton University philosopher identifies factory farming as a practice our descendants will condemn us for, just as we now condemn the once accepted practice of slavery. The world is realizing the negative impacts of the meat industry, and as a whole is looking for a change. For a brighter future, we need to reduce our dependence on animal products and focus on the health of the planet and ourselves. Carol Missildine says, "We need to prepare when it is fairly asked, what did you do when you learned the truth about eating animals?" Thank you.